everyone, I just wanted to make this video and show you some of my favorites from Aria's own personal library that I have been collecting even before she is born because I love these books. So one of my favorites, being a nurse, is basically all the health line. So I have basically all the health books essentially. So I'm gonna go with the progression of health topics based off of age and their different series. So this one is the Lift the Flap question and answer series. There's different books I have majority of them, but this one specifically is the body book, and it's one of the top sellers over the last 5 years. To see inside, I have tons of flaps, and I like them because they're based on the questions who, what, where, when, and how, and they'll typically say that on the top of each page. We'll look at one of these. How does sound come out of your mouth? I don't necessarily know how to explain that to someone, but I love Usborne because they make it really easy. For example, air from your lungs pushes up past flaps in your throat at the top of your windpipe. It makes them wobble or vibrate, and the air vibrates too, making a sound. You make different sounds by moving your mouth and tongue. I learned things in these books. So we have that particular body book, as well as then we have the Look Inside Your Body, which is another one of my favorites. I especially like this particular page in this book because it goes through the whole process of eating, going down from the mouth, teeth, esophagus, stomach, intestines, and through the colon, aka waste tube. And then building off of this age bracket, then you have the See Inside series. And you can see it gets a little bit more detailed and a little bit complex, such as being pretty detailed about the circulatory system, including veins and arteries. I know this one's a big one, right? Do you want to show them your book? Okay, let's show them your book. Can we show them? So this particular book is called How the Whale Got His Throat. And if you see the shape of this book, it's actually meant for first reading. You could get majority of these titles also in the large picture book format, but I like to personally collect the first readers because she doesn't know any better. It's a story, right? And then eventually then it will progress into a phonics reader so she can learn how to read. So I like to kill two birds with one stone, especially since we have limited bookshelf spaces in our condo. Then we have a lot of people homeschooling and distance learning, even kids who are actually in class find that you have to kind of supplement some of the material, especially if something's a little bit more challenging for your child. And that's a great way to do that is activity books. And Usborne has a series of wipe cleans, which I do like as well because you wipe them, you clean them, and you pass them on to kid after kid after kid after kid, and you don't have to worry about wasting paper. The only thing you have to keep on replacing is essentially the dry eraser. So these are 4 of the top picks over the last 5 years. Obviously, getting ready for school, ABC 1, 2, 3. I've given this one as a gift often. Then we have the first pen control that Aria does try to do. She's not perfect. She doesn't actually do follow the lines just yet. Oh, you're showing me too? Okay, we'll show this one next, okay? She doesn't actually follow it along yet, but Aria actually has been asking to do these activity books. She really wants to show you that book. We'll do that one next, Aria. she just essentially draws all over them, and I've let her do that since probably the age of 1, and she considers this playing. She asks for her activity book. She doesn't realize she's learning or helping her development in any way, and that's the benefit of these books. Is you don't want it to be tedious, you want it to be fun, and you want the kid to actually want to do it and make it self-directed. So look at those. Oh, sorry. These are also the dinosaur activities. There's a lot of different workbooks that are also theme-based. Please? Yeah, you like it. See? She wants to do this one. Okay, we'll do this one after, okay? There's theme activity books. So right now there's one for Halloween. We have Christmas one, dinosaurs, a farm one, a castle one. So there's also themed-based whipped cream books as well. What else do we got, Aria? Okay, so I love this series. Lift the Flap also has a series that is very first question and answers. So kind of a earlier spin-off of this, the question and answers. So 2 of the top books from that particular series, the last 5, are What Are Germs?, which is a huge topic right now for all children who are growing up in a global pandemic. And it's really interactive, lots of great flaps, cute illustrations. Yeah, I just think they're super cute. And then obviously the big one that's super popular is What is Poo? And we go through all of these great questions like, it's brown, smelly, and squidgy. It's what plops into the loo. And you'll find out that Usborne is actually a publisher in United Kingdom, Britain to be exact. So you'll see some words that are not necessarily Canadian, but a lot of kids are watching Peppa Pig, and so they're picking up on those kind of that kind of vocabulary as well. So it's cute. I could have a Canadian child saying that she needs to go to the loo. Sounds fancy. I'm okay with that, right? You want to show them your other book, right? Yeah, oh, you're showing them how you lift the flaps. So nice. And as you could tell, I'm a big fan of Lift the Flaps because they're super engaging and they make people, adults, myself, and little ones into books, especially if you find that your child or you know a child that maybe doesn't really like books. So they're a little bit more interactive, might be something worth trying. And then the book that Aria was trying to show you was this Count to 100, which is also one of the top sellers over the last 5 years, which is really nice. These are actually 100 butterflies here. I actually counted them myself. But you can tell here, like 1 full moon, 2 little dogs. Now also prompts them, like now count these dogs. So 1, 2, so it helps with repetition. As well as also builds vocabulary. It's not just a number book. Like, what is this? This is a full moon. The mouse is on the moon. Can you find where the mouse is? And then they were able to go ahead and point to it. So it's very engaging. You can make any book essentially engaging. If you need any tips about that, I could help you as well with that. And Ari's just here lifting all the flaps, which is fine. A book series that I did actually post on my business page is this Baby's Very First Little Black and White library. It has been a top seller over the last, I want to say 3 years running. I think that's because a lot of information has been coming to light in the sense of the general public is knowing that babies, newborn to about 3 months, actually are colorblind and they are more drawn to monochromatic pictures. So these are 4 books that are microchromatic, I believe that's how you say it. And they're great for promoting tummy time with little ones. I personally like the fact that you get the box set. They're a little bit mini, if you can see. But if you wanted a little bit bigger book, you could get them bigger, purchased separately. You like that? Oh, you see the doctor. That's right. It tells the doctor what's wrong. Okay. Over here also probably people who are familiar with Usborne or have heard of Usborne has seen the That's Not My series. We have lots of books, but this is actually one of the books that's part of the customer specials this particular month, which is October 2020. To unlock a customer special, you'd have to purchase books of a certain amount. That's Not My Lion, or That's Not My Touchy-Feely series. I really do enjoy because, yeah, it has great textures, a well-constructed book. This has been loved for the last 2 and almost 1/4 of Arya's life, and it looks like a brand new book, very well constructed. And all the little fuzzy touchy-feelies, all great quality. Also, it helps with descriptive words, like its ears are too soft. And then there is the actual fabric, so then children and toddlers are able to associate what soft actually is by touch. Also, on each page, you get to find the mouse. Can you find me where the mouse is? There it is. Good job. And then also when starting to read, so this is essentially, you could baby, toddler, and then essentially kindergarten JK. When you're starting to learn, it helps increase confidence, because eventually they'll be able through sight recognition know that that's not my, and then lion, and it's in small sections, so it's easy to learn to read. So eventually you'll be reading these stories, and hopefully in the future your child will be able to read to you or any other siblings or friends that they may have. Right? Yeah. More? You want to show them more? Okay. Arya's friend Vincenzo loves this book, which is actually part of another series. So this is the Things to Spot series. This is one of, I believe, 3 books, so we actually have all 3. A bestseller over the last 5 years. As Arya Goes Crazy. So each page helps the adult essentially figure out what to say to a child of what's this, what kind of questions you could ask about engagement. Eh? Like, which car has no wheels? That one right there, no wheels. And it goes on. So these are the very first books. So you can see his On the Road, At Home, Woodland and Wildlife. And it also helps with development of vocabulary based on different themes. Right? And I think we're going to show one more series, okay? Okay. And then if any of our friends want to see any other books, they could ask us if we have any at home, okay? In our bookshelves. So for Lift the Flaps, the very, very first Lift the Flaps are the Peep Inside books. So even though Arya's 2.5, she does do the flaps. I'm still a bit cautious with it, but she hasn't ripped any of these flaps yet, which is great. The farm, animal homes, and dinosaurs have been part of the top 25 over the last 5 years. And you can see here, there's lots of holes, which helps encourage turning pages for young ones. It also is not necessarily a storybook. It actually gives you facts. So that's nice. You can see here. You can find a lot of things by lifting the flaps. And here comes Aria. Oh, there you are. There are the sheep. What does the sheep say, Aria?
Ba.
Ba, that's right. And what else? I don't know if this book has a double flap because I love double flaps. And if I find a book with a double flap, I'll definitely show you. Oh, I think maybe this one. No, this one doesn't have a double flap. Let's look for a double flap, Aria. I know my fairy tale books definitely have a double flap. But if you can see how cute some of these pages are, this one is of growing. And look, some food grows under the ground. Carrots. I'm such a sucker for plants and gardening too. So not only am I really into the health books, I'm also into the farming, gardening books as well. So if you need any suggestions or want to take a look inside any of those, do just comment below, private message me so that I can get those videos up for your perusal. Have a good night.